Good afternoon. Results reported to ClinicalTrials.gov and EudraCT, a consolidated approach and first-hand experiences. When designing the results database in EudraCT, the EMA, also known as the European Medicines Agency, took CTGov as a starting point with respect to the information required. The EMA did quite a good job ensuring consistency down to the codeless level. Of course, they added some stuff reflecting the special focus the EMA has, for example, the information on pediatrics. They also implemented some useful extensions. For example, they added the concept of analysis sets. CTGov only supports ARMS, which is not as powerful as sometimes required. So from a what data is required perspective, the consistency between EudraCT and CTGov is pretty good. Unfortunately, this does not hold true when it comes to how to deliver the data. Both allow users to manually enter the data in their respective web pages, which is often tedious, redundant, and error-prone. Both allow to deliver the data through uploading an XML file. The bad news is that the technical structure of the XML files required by EudraCT and CTGov are significantly different, leading to a duplication in programming efforts. Converting a CTGov XML to a EudraCT XML or vice versa is a difficult operation and most likely will turn out to be impractical. At the end, people may find it easier to generate both XMLs from a central dataset and seek the support from commercial software with this task. So what exactly is EudraCT? Well, EudraCT is the European Drug Regulating Authority's clinical trials. In other words, it's the European clinical trials database for all clinical trials. And then CTGov is actually a registry and results database of publicly and privately supported clinical studies of human participants around the world, conducted around the world. And at a high-level comparison between the two, they both have similar information in both registries. Both registries require information to be delivered in XML files. Data structure is completely different. Therefore, XML conversion is difficult. And then, of course, with EudraCT, the additional complexity is introduced as well as the data to report. And then one thing to note is that you need to track carefully which trial goes where and when. From a timeline perspective, it has become mandatory for companies to report the results to EudraCT as of July 2014. A consolidated approach between CTGov and EudraCT is optimal with respect to data quality and efficiencies. The main challenges to overcome are additional complexities and differences in underlying data structures. Using CTGov data as a basis for result submission, including legacy trials, to EudraCT is possible. Some data needs to be added and modified to meet EudraCT requirements. And then, of course, for any trials that end on or after July the 21st, the sponsor will have to post the results within 6 or 12 months following the end of the trial. Anything that ended before that date, sponsors will need to submit the results retrospectively, of course, in accordance with specific timeline, a specific time frame laid out in the European Commission guideline. As far as the reporting and process, you can see on the screen from 1 to 6, it's laid out, as well as the process flow using a consolidated approach. First impressions, EudraCT is less mature than CTGov, making it more difficult to report to, complex navigation, no summary listings, and no useful import of adverse listings. The XML upload functionality does contain bugs within EudraCT. Handling of upload errors is tedious and difficult without automation. And then EudraCT does allow export of data in a readable format such as PDF, which is better than CTGov. The difference is, of course, the structure of the XML is completely different, doubling programming efforts. The transformation from CTGov to EudraCT and vice versa is not recommended. And it's better to generate both XMLs from a common data set. So in conclusion, a consolidated approach between CTGov and EudraCT is optimal with respect to data quality and efficiencies. Main challenges to overcome are additional complexities and differences in underlying data structures. Using CTGov data as a basis for result submission, including legacy trials to EudraCT, is possible. And then finally, some data needs to be added and modified to meet the EudraCT requirements. Thank you.